of opening is made at 5:30 p.m. We're on page 6 of our agenda. Tonight is an ordinary council meeting, so it's a decision-making night. So every item that we have before us, we'll make a decision one way or the other. Everyone is aware, members of the public are aware, that we had the forum last Wednesday where councillors got to ask question and answers. We've got a couple of new items tonight, so we'll allow for questions with those items. But again, we have to make decisions on every item. So item number 2 is opening procedures. 2.1 is acknowledgement of country. So the Shire of Northam acknowledges the continuing connection of Aboriginal people to country, culture and community, and embraces the vast Aboriginal cultural diversity throughout Australia. On the land of the Ballagong Noongar and Whadjuk Noongar nations to the west of the Shire, where we meet, we acknowledge and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. Item number 2.2 is recording of council meetings. Members of council are aware, and members of the gallery may not be aware, but are now. They are advised that this meeting is being live streamed and audio recorded, and it's made available on the Shire of Northam's YouTube channel. If members of the public would like to have access to the recording of this meeting, they can do so via the Shire of Northam website. Item number 3 is attendees. We have 8 councillors sitting around the table. So I'll go from left to right as I normally do and introduce everyone. We have Councillor Biglan, Councillor Gierak, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Williams, Councillor Mancelli, President Antonio, Councillor Appleton and Councillor Hughes. We have the staff as listed. There's no changes with that. We have the Chief Executive Officer, Ms Terrelink, Executive Manager Engineering Services, Mr Devsich, Executive Manager Development and Community Services, Mr Hunt, Executive Manager Corporate Services, Mr Young, Manager Governance and Risk, Ms McCall, Governance and Risk Officer, Ms Blase, Manager Administration Engineering Services, Ms Van Beek. We go to page 7, so we have item 3.2 is apologies. We have an apology from Councillor Polton. Item 3.3 is approved leave of absence, that is nil. 3.4 absent is nil. We now go to page 8. So we have item number 4 is disclosure of interests. We have one here for item 13.3.2, proposed amendment to P1129, extractive industry, lot 1096, Smith Road, Clackline. Councillor Mancelli has declared impartiality. The nature of the interest is the proponents of the industry are known to the Shire Deputy President, Councillor Mancelli. I do have another declaration of interest for item 14.4.1. As that is behind closed doors, I'll address that as the item comes up. On page 9, we have item number 5, announcements by the presiding member without discussion, so that is taken as read. Then we go to page 11. So item number 6 is public questions. So I will check with members of the gallery if there is any public questions just in case. There's none. So item number 7 is response to previous public questions taken on notice. That is nil. Item number 8 is receiving of petitions, presentations and deputations. 8.1 petitions is nil. 8.2 presentations is nil. And then we go to page 12 for 8.3 deputations. This is where members of the public are able to apply to basically make a statement, which is a deputation. So I will check with members of the public just in case. That's a no. So we go to item number 9, which is applications for leave of absence. That is nil. Item number 10 is confirmation of minutes. We have 10.1, confirmation of minutes from the ordinary council meeting held 17 September 2025. There's a recommendation here. Councillor Lyon is moving. Councillor Hughes is seconding. Anyone likely to speak against? All those in favour by a show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. Now item 10.2 on the same page, still on page 12, is notes from the council forum meeting held 8th of October 2025. Just before I ask for a mover and a seconder, I just wanted to check, as it's a new item, if there was any queries or clarifications. No? So just seeking a mover and a seconder of that. Councillor Mancelli is moving, Councillor Hughes is seconding. Anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by a show of hands? 8-0, that's carried. We now go to page 34. So item number 11 is items brought forward for the convenience of those in the public gallery. We've had a discussion and we're going to continue on as per normal. So item number 12 is reports of committee meetings. That is nil. Item number 13 is officer reports. 13.1 is the CEO's office. 13.1.1 is amendment to delegated authority. 11.1.1 planning determination with the recommendation on page 36. Thank you. Councillor Ryan is moving. Councillor Appleton is seconding. Anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by a show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. There was a minimum of 6 required for that, so that is good. We now go to page 45. 13.2 is engineering services. That is nil. 13.3 is development and community services. 13.3.1 is naming of proposed roads DP 122617, which is 186 Chitty Road, Bakers Hill. Recommendation is on page 47. Councillor Gierak is moving. Councillor Mancelli is seconding. Anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by a show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. We now go to page 49. This is item 13.3.2, proposed amendment to P1129, extractive industry lot 1096, Smith Road, Clackline. Just before I start, Councillor Mancelli has declared an impartiality interest in this item, and Councillor Mancelli declares that this will be considered, or this matter will be considered on its merit and will be voted on accordingly. So, and there's a recommendation that goes from page 54 to 56. Question, Councillor Gierak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a question in regards to the map on page 185. So I remember that there was a mention during the forum meeting that one of the sand pits will be very close to the boundary. So is this the one, the larger sand pit, which is, if I understand it well, about 200 something meters from the closest boundary, or is it referring to, or the question is really if I interpret it right. So it says 225.6 meters.
Yeah, that's the setback for that the sand pit. So that's what that's showing what is existing at the moment. So that is correct. That's the one that is going closer to the property boundary.
So is it known how much closer it's going to get to the boundary?
The application was for a setback of 50 metres from that boundary.
So that's still acceptable, I assume.
That's in accordance with our setback requirements. That's correct.
Thank you. And just one more question in regards to, and my apologies if that has been asked. Previously, there were no complaints received during the prior term of the license from public.
No, I think that was included in the report. There hasn't been any complaints received regarding the current operations or previous operation.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there's a recommendation on page 54. Councillor Mancelli is moving. Councillor Hughes is seconding. Is there anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by a show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. I did forget to say to members of the public that you're quite welcome to stay and enjoy our hospitality, but you're quite welcome to go at any stage without reference to me, just in case. So I apologise to tell members of the public that before. So we now go to page 189. Yep. 13.4 is corporate services. 13.4.1 is the Shire of Northern Recreation Facilities Development Plan, and there's a recommendation on page 194. And Councillor Williams is moving, Councillor Hughes is seconding. Is there anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. We go to page 354. So 13.4.2 is accounts and statements of accounts, September 2025, and there's a recommendation on page 356. Councillor Ryan is moving, Councillor Appleton is seconding. Anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. We now go to page 405. So 13.4.3, financial statements for the period ending 30 September 2025. Before I put this, there's just been that budget amendment, so I just wanted to see if there's any questions or clarifications on that, councillor. No, if there's not, there's a recommendation on page 408.
With the recommendation.
Councillor Minderly is moving that. Councillor Ryan is seconding. So anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by a show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. And then there's a recommendation on page 409, which is to do with the amendment to the budget, for the budget variation. Councillor Williams is moving. Councillor Appleton is seconding. Anyone likely to speak against? So all those in favour by a show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. We now go to page 432. We have the recommendation to go behind closed doors. Councillor Gierak is moving, Councillor Mincelli is seconding. That's procedural, so it distracts the vote. All those in favour by a show of hands? That's 8-0, that's carried. We will just wait for Now, recording back on? Good. So, members of the gallery and anyone looking at the recording, so we had 4 items behind closed doors. So I'll just read out the outcomes of those recommendations. So we had 14.1, which is application under CP 29 rates hardship. The recommendation was that council approves the payment arrangement of $150 per month for the current owner A12890 until 30th of June 2026. That was carried 8-0. We have 14.2, lease of 61 to 63 Wellington Street, which is lot 201, Wellington Street East, Northern Uniting Church Homes. Recommendation that council approves a new lease for 61 to 63, being lot 201, Wellington Street East, Northern Uniting Church Homes, with the following terms and conditions. 1, the lease term being for a period of 3 years with a 2-year renewal option. 2, the rental being set in accordance with the obtained market rental valuation, attachment 14.2.1. And 3, all other terms and conditions being in accordance with section 8.3 of council policy CP.58, property management, in brackets, leases and licenses, close bracket. That was carried 8-0. 14.3, minutes from the Chief Executive Officer Review and Selection Committee held on the 17th September 2025. There was 2 recommendations. 1 was receipt of minutes. The council receives the minutes from the Chief Executive Officer Review and Selection Committee meeting held on 17 September 2025. It's carried 8-0. And then we have the adoption of recommendations. The recommendation being the council accepts the Chief Executive Officer Key Performance Indicator Progress Report from the 1st of July 2025 to the 12th September 2025 as presented in attachment 6.1.1 minutes. That was carried 8-0. Then we have 14.4, recovery rates, Carlin Heights subdivision. There was a recommendation that Council 1 notes the above summary of the ongoing debt recovery process for the Carlin Heights subdivision. 2, authorises the Chief Executive Officer to process a credit for interim and back rates charges for assessments A15862 to A15881 with an effective date of 1 June 2012. 3, authorises the Chief Executive Officer to issue interim and back rates outside the term of 5 years preceding the current financial year prescribed in section 6.39 and in brackets 2 in brackets B in brackets of the Local Government Act 1995 with an effective date of 1 June 2012 for the 2 new assessments that will be created for the subdivision. 4, authorises the Chief Executive Officer to instruct Palisade to provide to Optima Funding without prejudice letter to request payment for the newly issued rates and to seek an informal settlement of the outstanding debt to the value noted within the report. 5, authorises the Chief Executive Officer to commence the process of changing the basis of rates for Lot 54 on Council Deposited Plan 72721 from unimproved value UV to gross rental value GRV. And that was carried 8-0. So we are now back onto page 432 of our main agenda. So we have item number 15, motions of which previous notice has been given is nil. Item 16, urgent business approved by decision is nil. Item 17, declaration of closure is made at 6:01 p.m. I'd like to thank councillors for your input and questions and debates. Thank the officers for always being acting professionally and good recommendations. Thanks members of the public attending. And just before we close off, and we're still recording, just wanted to thank Councillor Appleton. Councillor Appleton has done a 4-year term and has decided not to re-nominate, so is essentially retiring. But when you're a young person, that's a wrong word to use. Is not re-nominating at the moment, so I wanted to thank on behalf of council and officers. Your input has been invaluable over the last couple of years. We've appreciated it very much. We do welcome you back to nominate in 2 years, per your words. to nominate, so let's put our hands together for Councillor Atherton. And with the other councillors who are re-nominated, so I've just got to wish them all the best and good luck. We have the count on Saturday night, so if anyone's interested, you can watch the count live and see what's going on. A few of us will be here to watch that. So best of luck. I can't say anything more because I don't know the outcome at this stage. So definitely recording stopped. So now it's 6:06.